Yes, Swarochi, you can start.
He has to unmute.
Hello everyone. Yeah, I'm Swarochi, and yeah, I guess I'll just introduce the session. So we have with us Dr. Chitra Shankar. She's a principal scientist at ICAR, and she works on rice research. ICAR, it's a rice research institution. IIRR, it's a branch of ICAR. So yeah, she's in the Department of Entomology, agricultural entomology mainly, and she's involved in ecosystem services. And she's also an amazing person on the field, and kind of a mentor to me as well. So yeah, off to you, Chitra.
Thank you, Surochi. Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to see a good number of people join in today. So today's talk will be like, I have given this talk earlier too. I hope you can all see my slides. Can somebody just say yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So today's talk, I would be dealing, I do not know the spectrum of people who are attending this talk, okay? So this is for citizen science. So this is going to be very basic and it more focused from using the INAT app, documenting on the INAT app, and how to get into the city nature challenge. So I will not go deep into the taxonomy of each group or anything. I will just touch upon everything so that you will have a broad perspective of what you can do as citizens towards this city nature challenge. Okay. So biodiversity in your backyard, the citizen's perspective. This is what I'm going to talk about. So just to give a primer on how it was last year. Actually, Hyderabad and many other cities participated for the first time in 2023. And the 2024 is coming in April. We will be taking pictures and uploading from April 26th to 29th. And after that, there will be a second phase from 30th to May 5th, where there will be identification and people will be helping. So you do not have to worry about the identification part. All you have to do is document. This is what I would like to say at the start. And then coming to the global results of 2023. We actually we for the first time we did very well as Hyderabad city. That is mainly because WWF along with its partner forest people have organized it in a very nice manner, and that's why we could get. But you see, the number of observers are just 337, and with that we have recorded nearly 2,000 species and 30,000 observations. Okay, so we were sort of like 12th in the observation list when it comes to the global level. And coming to Indian contribution in 2023, if you see, Hyderabad led the group with 30,000 observations, and we had so many cities participating last year, which is happiness actually for a researcher like me, especially biodiversity conservation person, to see so many people actively participate. I am hoping that this will double, triple, or multiple or quadruple in this year, and we will get quite a good number of good observations during this season. What is citizen science? So what is this we are talking about? What is this citizen science? So citizen science, basically it started as a terminology in MIT, and it is a term where you can also call it as crowdsourced science. You need not, you may be an amateur researcher or a non-researcher or just a lay person, and you are very keenly interested in the things around you and you want to record it, know about it. So this is one platform where you will be contributing and learning. The contribution will help researchers, and in the process, you're also going to learn what is around you. Okay. So what all can you record? Almost all the living things, what you can see. including microorganisms, plants, animals, fungi. So many of our groups also are specialists like Swarochi. He likes to take up plant diseases. You can submit plant diseases also, but then identification is a little bit difficult here. So where can you do all this? It is in your home garden, in a nearby park, in college and university campuses, in and around water bodies, or even your uninvited house guests such as insects, spiders, lizards, etc. All of these will contribute as observations. Then you can very well look near the light in your apartment, flat, building, or institutions. If you just look under the light, you in the evening, you will see a number of insects visiting for the light, because most insects are phototaxic and they will move towards light, and you will be able to make some observations. And along with insects, there will be these lizards which come to feed them, frogs which come to feed on them. And so you will get more observations based on this. Also snakes, so be careful. And you can also look behind old pictures, you will get silverfish. They are also one part of the observation, okay? Then what is the equipment you will need for recording all this? Nothing except even your mobile phones, good quality where you can get decent quality photographs is enough. Identifiable quality. You cannot take a small insect, 100 meters away and then ask for identification. That would be very difficult. Get as close to the subject as possible at a safe distance and try to take pictures with or without zoom lens. You can also use point and shoot cameras. And also we have professional photographers with DSLRs who can really contribute greatly to this effort. Okay. Now, this thing we were discussing with Ram also earlier. If an organism is wild, it is marked. If it is not wild, that is, if it is cultivated, if you're growing, if it is your house plant, or if it is a cultivated plant on the roadside, it will be marked as casual observation. But it will count for city's total observation. So you can go ahead and do it, but it will not be research grade. That is all. But it contributes. Therefore, you can go ahead. But please avoid caged animals. That is actually ethically wrong. So caged animals, please avoid. Otherwise, you can record house plants. Don't do pets. You can go and take a picture of the desi dog, desi cat, a desi cow outside, but you can avoid pets. Then greenhouse plants, all these will come under observations. Okay. Then what exactly we are doing? iNaturalist is the platform, is a citizen science platform on which we will be uploading all these observations. I'm sure we will have sessions on how to download the app, how to put in the observations, etc. On this different session, maybe we'll address this. iNaturalist is actually a joint initiative of the California Academy of Sciences and the National Geographic Society. What they want to do is bring in as much observations as possible, so that some of the rare things a person who is a lay person might also be observing. So they want to get the statistical knowledge inside science. That is how it works. First, you record just with a mobile, or you use some device, and then you get into the computer, you upload your observations. Then it will be shared with fellow naturalists who will be able to identify, and there will also be a discussion on the findings. Okay. So coming to the biodiversity around you. What is all the biodiversity groups that you can record? Mammals, birds, frogs, lizards and snakes, crustaceans. You would wonder crustaceans. If you are near a water body, you may see crabs. Otherwise, you might see soap bugs under your pots. If it is moist enough and humid enough, you might see soap bugs, which are also crustaceans. And then you get millipedes, centipedes, snails, insects, spiders, plants, mushrooms, and of course, microbes. If you come to Indian biodiversity, India is classified as mega diverse. Actually, only 17 of the world's 190 countries contain 70% of the biodiversity. And these countries are called as mega diverse, and one of those countries is India. And India, with 2.4% of the land area, accounts for 7 to 8% of the species of the world. So we should be very proud of this biodiversity. And this image which I shared, if Rohan is watching, I'm not plagiarizing your picture, but I really want to raise awareness on green humor. He does beautiful biodiversity maps of countries, of states, and very well he draws and expresses all the biodiversity present in the region. So this art is by Rohan Chakravarti, aka Green Humor. And coming to the biodiversity as such in India, if you see 91,000 species of animals and 45,000 species of plants have been documented. Note the point, it has been documented. There may be others which are not documented. Okay, there are more to add, but so far this has been documented in 10 biogeographic regions of the country. And of these, if you see, this picture here gives the endemism in Indian biodiversity. That is birds for 4.5%, mammals 12%. Look at the amphibian number, 55% of the amphibians, that is frogs, they are endemic to India. Whatever species you see here, and more new species are being added by the year. And then reptiles, 45% are endemic to India. Then plants, we have 33% which are endemic to India. Endemic means, see, I'm sorry if it is too basic when I'm talking this. Endemic means it is only occurring, it is very local to our country. That is called as endemic. It occurs only in our country. Okay. Then coming to the different groups. If you see the total observations, I am only using iNaturalist platform to explain to you about the biodiversity. There are different platforms, textbook, guidebooks, and so many checklists which are available. But I will use only iNaturalist because that is the platform you're going to use. So the total platform, the total observations and species which has been recorded from India is 31,433. Remember, I told you nearly 150,000 species are there in India. 1 lakh of the animal species and 50,000 of the plant species, of which we have documentation on INAT only for 31,400 species. Okay. And coming to the first group, that is my favorite. I'm an entomologist, but birding is my passion. So I would like to start with the bird group. In India, what eBird says, eBird is actually from Cornell University, and it is also a citizen science database, and it has recorded around 1,367 species of birds in India. But on INAT, we have 1,273. Not a bad number. We have more or less all the species. Maybe some of the vagrants have been missed out and maybe added now in the CNC. Okay. So actually there is a platform crossover from eBird. You can shift the data into INAT, but it is only for people who know about it, and maybe the technical people can give you explanation on how to do that later. Okay. So if you submit data on eBird, it can also be pulled into INAT, or you can directly submit on INAT. Okay. But eBird is the main platform for recording bird data across the world. So if you come to Hyderabad alone, we have 132 species. Whereas, see, why I am giving this? See, I am giving example because last year too I talked for Hyderabad, and so I want to talk from the state which I am living in and the city which I am going to represent. So if you see in Telangana, we have 359 species of birds that have been recorded on INAT, of which 132 species have been recorded from Hyderabad. So as from Hyderabad, if I'm going to do the CNC, I can contribute to 132 species and that many observations. If you see that on daily basis also, you can repeat the observations. It need not be that one species, one observation. You can do multiple observations of the same species. Okay. Then coming to resources for birding. Online resources, there is Merlin app by Cornell University, which is one of the best apps for birding. And it has got both identification of photos and also identification of calls. And then citizen science databases like eBird, which has got exploring of the species. Then you have books by Salim Ali, Grimmet and Inkscape, and many others. Even Bikram Griwal recently here they have 2 guidebooks, which is very good. A series of guidebooks which are very good, which have good quality photographs, and you will be able to identify very easily. Then offline or real time. You can't just have a book and go birding if you are new. So it is better to join bird walks by local birding groups. And also, if you do not have access to that, you can take a seasoned birder with you and do some of the observations. You will know where to look and how to record them and how to upload them. So that is how you can get to the birding documentation. Then this is about the app. Okay, this Merlin app is available both for Apple and Android, and you can download it in the App Store or on the Google Play. And if you see, there are this many bird packs for India. Okay, you have India All, India Andamans, India North, India Northeast, India Northwest, India South. You can either put India All, or if you want only the northern birds, if you are from North India, only the northern birds, you can take India North. If you're from the South, you can take India South pack. And then there will be a feature called Explore, where you can explore all the birds and you will know what are all the birds that is possible in your area. Okay, and you can checklist. And you can find also what it is. Then these are some of the guides which I was talking about. Bikram Grewal recently, and then this Grimet and Inskip is the standard handbook field guide for Indian birds. So some of the common birds I have just highlighted here, because actually I get a lot of questions sometimes about some of the birds, especially like this black kite. Oh, I saw an eagle. So this is not the eagle, it is a black kite, okay? The most commonly seen raptor which is flying in all the cities is the black kite. And then you get the green bee eaters in plentiful numbers presently. You have the black drongo. Then you have the house sparrow. I'm sure house sparrow, everybody will know. House crow. And then look at these two quails. Okay, many people who are not introduced to birding will get confused that they are two birds. So the male is fully black in color and the female has got spots like this. So there are dimorphisms also in bird. So you have to go with a seasoned birder to know what you're looking at. And then this is the kingfisher. This is called as the white-throated kingfisher. And the hoopoe. Many people, many non-birders have come and told me, I saw a woodpecker. So this is not the woodpecker. This is a hoopoe and the black kite. Okay. I'm just mentioning this because I am dealing from citizen science basic point of view, because I know people come up and ask me. I want those people also to learn and to know about what the birds are around them. Coming to the next group, that is mammal bio. I should have started with mammals, but because birds is my favorite, I started with that. So mammal diversity. Mammals, again, if you see, there are around 19, in India, 350 species are there. On INET, you have 317 species which have been recorded. And from Hyderabad, we have 19 species. So you see that range, okay? And the most common ones, you can go and take a picture of the mongoose, bats, rats, then monkeys, squirrels, and you have a cow, you have dog, you have the cat. All these you can take pictures of, okay, and record, and you can submit. So the resources which you see is, there is one site called for the mammals of India, which is belonging to the Biodiversity Atlas group. And also we have books on mammals of India and Indian mammals. There are 2-3 guidebooks like this, okay? And see, this is what I was talking about. These are all the things which you can record around you, okay? Rats. There are so many different types of rats, actually. This is bandicoot rat. If you by chance during that period go to the railway station, I'm sure you will get at least 2-3 pictures of 2-3 types of rats. And then you have squirrels. Again, why I have given these 2 species is that northern people, they will have the 5-striped palm squirrel or the northern squirrel, palm squirrel, and this southern people will have the 3-striped palm squirrel. Then you have the domestic dog, domestic cat, and the mongoose, which are more common. You have pigs. You have boars, wild boars, so many animals around you, which you can record and document. Okay. This is just to show you the biodiversity of the rodent group alone in India. This is the rodent group. Every single alphabet is represented here. So many species we have in India. Maybe it is in the forest, but you may be living close to some forested area or something. You can also record, and you may be able to record it. This includes the squirrels, the rats, the owls, the mouse, and so many other species come under this rodent classification. Okay. Then coming to the next group, the reptiles. Reptiles include snakes, lizards, geckos, skinks, and turtles and terrapins. All these come under the reptiles group. So 550 species of reptiles are found in India. Okay. And of this, around 200 are endemic to India. If you see on INAT in India, 547 species have been recorded. And of this, the majority, many people may be freaked out by that, but I know some of them are very good with snakes. So most of them, 220 of them are snake species, actually. So coming to Hyderabad, in Hyderabad, we have around 23 species recorded. Okay. So every city, see, 23 species, how many observations, if you could see, all of us can contribute a lot. Okay. Then coming to resources, we have again the Biodiversity Atlas group. They have the, we also have Facebook groups. We also have biodiversity WhatsApp groups. We have YNC discussion groups. We have so many groups for discussing the identification of these organisms or living things. Okay. So we have a site for Indian snakes. Then we have field guides for snakes of India. We have a field guide for reptiles of India. Okay. Then coming to arthropod that is, this one group can form the major chunk next to plants for all our documentation, and that is the arthropod biodiversity. Arthro means jointed, pod means legs. So this consists of a number of groups in it, all centipedes, crustaceans, millipedes, then your insects, spiders, everything will come under arthropoda. Okay. And India documents nearly 7% of global faunal diversity, of which phylum Arthropoda has 6.13% of the total species in the world. That is 60,000 of 9 lakh species of the world are found in India alone for arthropods. Okay. The first group in arthropods, millipedes and centipedes. Again, we have not, see, if you see the number of observations, 98 species are there in India. But if you see from Hyderabad, if you take one city, only 13 species have been recorded from one city. So more biodiverse people, if I have listeners from Kerala and other Ghat regions, I am sure you will be able to contribute more to this group, millipedes and centipedes. Okay. The next group is crustaceans, which I was talking about earlier too. So you have the sow bugs. The second picture here is the sow bugs, which if you lift your pots, which are moist, underneath you might find these small pill-like insects, you can call them, which are insect types which are moving. And these will be the sow bugs. So they are the land crustaceans which you see. Some of you may be living near rice fields, you will see crabs. Okay. So that is also one of the crustaceans you might be able to observe. Other people, then you have to be near coast so that you can observe the crustaceans. Then coming to my field of study, that is the insects and spiders. So the first group, butterflies, everybody knows. All citizens know butterflies, but they would not realize that this many species are there in India. In India, we have around 1,350 species of butterflies. Okay. And of which only 1,018 are documented in INAT from India. And many people also will have a confusion between butterflies and moths. What is this major difference? You know, butterflies, when they are resting, they will keep their wings like this closed. Okay. And most butterflies are not diurnal. Okay. That is, diurnal means they will be seen in the daytime, flitting around from flowers to flowers. One or two butterflies, like belonging to some families, they are evening browns, they are called, and they come during the evening time. Okay, only a few butterflies. But most butterflies are seen in the daytime. Whereas moths, if you see, are mostly at night. So most of the winged insects which you see under the lights in your building or apartment would be moths. Okay, moths. And then antenna shape, there is a lot of difference. If you note the first picture and the second picture, the first picture you will see that club shaped antenna, slightly enlarged antenna in the beginning. That is a club shaped antenna. This is seen in butterflies. But in moths, it may be pylos, plumos, or it may be pectinate like this. Okay, it may be big. It is not like what you see, that hairless like in butterflies. And general appearance, if you see, butterflies are more sleek. They're less pubescent, meaning less hairy, whereas moths are more stout and they will be very furry. They will look like some teddy bear. So moths are more furry. And color mostly, except day flying moths, which are very colorful, like handmaiden moths, if you'll see in the daytime, and many other tiger moths, if you may see in the daytime. Most of them are brown, black, or their colors are not visible at all. Sometimes the underwings may be colorful, but most of them are dull colored, sober colored. Whereas butterflies are, brightly colored. Everybody loves butterflies. Actually, this is the app created by the Biodiversity Atlas group, and there is a Butterflies of India mobile app. Unfortunately, I could not download or I could not install in this, but I have seen that the Butterflies of Kerala, if people are there from Kerala, so Butterflies of Kerala actually, I don't know if you can see, in Malayalam, you have an app where there is a Malayalam name and also the scientific name given, and that works very well. You can use that, okay? Butterflies of Kerala. So that is the only app that is working, which I have seen. And moths, actually, like I told you, moths you can see under the light. But with moths and butterflies, you may see the caterpillars. That is the larval stage of the butterfly. That also you can document and you can upload on your iNat app. Okay, that also can be identified. Mostly, except some of the moths, which is all green in color, most of the moths and most of the butterfly caterpillars also are identifiable, and we will be able to identify them for you. Okay, so the resources for moths are this one book by Dr. V. Subbalakshmi on Indian moths is there. And then we also have the Indian moths website, which can be a very good resource for identification. And we also have our own ID groups. Then coming to a very interesting group, that is the Odonata, called dragonflies and damselflies. They are the rulers of the air. They have been here from ages. From the fossil age, they are here. Actually, these dragonflies, they are the oldest, one of the oldest, and they have beautiful wings, and they are very fast flying, and they have been the they have been the model for making the helicopter. So these dragonflies and damselflies are very interesting group, and you get a wide spectrum, and you will be able to record them also around you. So we have around 351 species, more than actually 400, according to ZSI, I think 400 species have been recorded. On iNet, we have around 350 species. Okay. And if you see in Hyderabad, around only 23 species have been recorded. Mainly, I think because we need a very good camera for taking pictures of this. Otherwise, they are very fast flying and you might not be able to get it. If you go close, they will be flying away. But one tip I can give you, if you want to photograph dragonflies or damselflies, is go to the edges or the bushes on the side of the road and see in the morning on the trees. So early morning, when there is dew or the sun is not out, these insects do not fly. They need that basking and the energy from the sun so that they will be able to fly. So they will be resting there, and that is the time you will be able to pick these insects, okay? These dragonflies and damselflies. Then you also have bees, wasps, beetles, flies, and all other insects, which I cannot cover in this one session. There is so much, the potter wasp in your house, okay, which builds, the mud they bring and then they build the thing. All those things will come under this category, and you can document them and you can upload on iNet app. So one example I wanted to give of how the diversity can differ state and city-wise. Here, if you see, in Kerala, the diversity of Odonata is 173 species on INAT. And Thiruvananthapuram alone has got 125 species. Okay. But if you see Tamil Nadu, 123 species are there recorded on INAT, but Coimbatore has got only half of it, that is 68 species. Similarly, in Telangana, 49 species in total of Telangana, whereas in Hyderabad, you have 26. I think I'm sure if we look for, we might be able to get more species under this category during this season. Then if I miss out on this, I will be missing out on a major group. We have a very talented ant man in our group, belonging to the young naturalist group of people. And he's just out of school and in college. He can identify any ant for you, any ant. And just look at it. We have around 300 plus species of ants in India. Okay, so please, all of you, focus on these ants also and take pictures. All of us know those big black ants. Okay, we must have seen Camponotus. Then you know those small red fire ants. That also everybody would have noticed. And those red larger ants which will stitch the leaves together. They are called the weaver ants. And then those long ants which are double colored, red, maroon and black, and they will leave you a very painful sting, called bicolor ants. All these, I'm sure all of us must have come across at least one time. Please, all of you, take care to record even the ants. Look for those ant hills and then take pictures, and it will get identified. There we have specialists for all the groups here, and all of them will get identified, and you will also learn in that process. Okay, so don't leave out the ants. Ants are very important. Then coming, I have touched upon the animal part. Now coming to the plant diversity. This is going to be the biggest contribution all citizens can do towards this city nature challenge, because this is where you get more species and they are around you everywhere. Okay, see, 10,000 species already from India has been put on INAT. All you have to do is to go on your knees and look at the smallest wild plant or weed you call, with a flower or without a flower, you take pictures, or the biggest trees. Okay, from this to this, please record everything. Please record everything and please upload. Plants, actually we have a star plant identifier in our group called Dr. Kobita. Kobita during her talk during last CNC, I heard about some ferns, and I went looking and I found them right next to my house. In Hyderabad, where it is very dry in April, I found these ferns and I was very happy. So they are there all around you. You just have to go look for them and you have to upload them. Okay, please keep it that at least 10 observations of plants per day you will do. That is enough during the CNC period. Each person, if they do that will take care of everything. The next group is mushrooms. You must have seen mushrooms growing on dead trees, growing under the tree, growing on termite hills, growing in so many places. You have 1 species have already been uploaded on INAT from India, and there are more. This does not cover everything. So please, guys, this is really very important group again, where you can contribute. Please take pictures and please upload about the mushrooms. I'm sure Kobita will be talking about mushrooms and plants in a separate session, and ants also, I think we can have a separate session. If you would like sessions for different groups, we can have sessions for different groups. But right now, I'm just giving you an overview so that you will know what are all the categories under which you can contribute. Then coming to see, I put this slide specifically to show what citizen science can do now. So many species are undiscovered, and citizen science and the number of people looking for these species have increased, and that is why we are finding more and more species suddenly. In this last 5-6 years, we are finding so many species, so many geckos, snakes, amphibians, dragonflies have been discovered in the last few years. So you could also be the next person who have discovered a new species. So go looking for species in different places and record everything you see. Okay, this slide specifically to show that it is not just what has already been discovered, you can also be discovering new things. Okay. Then we have number of citizen science databases, but as for the City Nature Challenge, we will be uploading on INAT. But from India also, we have the India Biodiversity Portal. We have the Biodiversity Atlas sites called I Found Butterflies, Moths of India, Amphibians of India, Snakes of India, and so many other groups. We have one site for citizen science. If people are interested, please go check the projects and please go see if you can be a part of some of the projects and contribute there. We have a CitScience India site itself. Okay. And I also would like to mention, like I was talking about Kobita Das and another lady called Lakshmi Prabhala. During the COVID time, during the lockdown, they have recorded all the biodiversity around them and they have done a digital exhibition on Earth Day in 2021. See, that is the power of recording things around you, you know. They have wonderful pictures just around them. So it is an amazing world we live in, very biodiverse. We have so many birds, insects, plants, and everything. And India, mega diverse. So let us go out and let us learn more about this beautiful world of us. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I will take some questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. This is exactly what we were looking for, to have a session for the new people who are just beginning. So I'll just read out a few questions from the Q&A. The first question is from Dhananjay Kumar. He asks, any sources for spiders identification?
Actually, we have Spider India group, actually WhatsApp group, and we have a lot of experts in that. So at least up to general level, you will be able to get identification. And there are 2 people from Kerala, I think, who are very good with spiders. But basic identification, most of us can do. Even I'm an entomologist, I can do. If you want to get up to species level, then there are people you have to get in touch with. Okay. And you don't have to worry now if you're going to contribute to CNC. There will be experts from the whole world looking at your images.
Yes, and we also have ID help group in our Citizen Science India WhatsApp community.
Exactly.
So anyone who is interested in getting their observations ID, they can put the link of their INET observation there, and whoever can do that, they will identify and put it there. The next question is about someone is asking if we can add them to all biodiversity groups. So first of all, I think there are so many groups. Madam, do you want to take that, like, few of them, if you know?
So what I can do is, see, if you are specifically interested in butterflies, I can send you the invite link is there. I can share the invite link on whichever group you want, like for example, CNC. If you're a part of CNC, I can share those chat links with you. So you can join those groups. Okay. If you can specify to me which group you want, I can share the chat link with you.
Actually, I think this is a very general question that a lot of people would have. So, guys, you all are in CNC India, right? I will just message, with all the specific, there's a fish India, there's a butterfly India, there's a dragonfly India, all that stuff is there. So I'll just compile all those links together and I'll put it in the group, and you guys can choose which ones to join. Yeah, I'll just put basically every group that I know of. So yeah.
Next question is from Alex. The question is, are any of these centipedes poisonous?
See, first of all, don't use the word poisonous, okay? Poisonous and venomous are 2 different terms, okay? Poisonous is when you eat it. Venomous is when it gives you a poison. So yes, they have some venom in them. Centipedes do have some venom. They are neurotoxins which are basically used for their prey. Unfortunately, if you touch them or handle them, they may give you a bite and you may get that thing, but you be careful when you're handling them. Okay. You understand? I don't know who asked this question. Please understand the differentiation between poisonous and venomous. Poisonous is something like a mushroom, which you eat and you get poison. Venomous is something which can give you a poison. Okay. There are 2 different terms. I think you're asking me whether it is venomous, right?
Yes, I think so. Swadacha, do you want to take the next question from Paul?
Hello?
Yeah, all right. So, Paul Pop asked, "Thanks for the talk. You said that you said that most moth caterpillars are identifiable. Does that mean? Do you mean to species level? Are in the larval stages of most moth species unrecorded in India? So yeah.
No, I told that most moths means not 95%. Most of them, I said most moths are green in color, but most butterfly caterpillars are identifiable, and many of the moth caterpillars, which general citizen science find, will be identifiable because they are the big ones, like spinjets, which they find. So they will be identifiable even up to species level. Some of the markings are very typical, but some of them you cannot. And for a taxonomist like Paul, no, you cannot identify up to species level.
And Pooja CK is asking about the certificate for this session. So Ram,
I think Akbar is typing the answer there. And also, we will provide e-certificate for participating in the City Nature Challenge. So you can participate in, like, you are definitely going to participate in CNC, I believe. So you'll get e-certificates for that. Yeah, Farida ma'am, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to answer that. See, the aim is to see how you all get into the City Nature Challenge, participate there, and then win the certificate. You for every session we do, I'm sorry, we'll not be able to give you any certificates. We want you to come out of your own interest, not as an ulterior interest of having a certificate, which will eventually come at the end of the entire City Nature Challenge. And whichever state you are from and where WWF offices are, definitely those offices will give you either an e-certificate or it could be a physical one. But first, the aim is to get you all going for the City Nature Challenge. So let's see you there, and then definitely the certificate would come.
Yeah, that's perfect. So I am seeing a question here on if we find a new species where we have to where we can document it. Ujjwal Swanker has asking that. So you see, first of all, you should, I don't know your background. If you are from citizen science, you have to contact an expert in that, and you have to know whether it is a new species first. And then if they think it is a new species, then they will be compared, and then the taxonomy will be studied, and only then it will be published. Okay.
Karnika Palwa is saying would be nice to have separate sessions for separate groups. So yes, definitely we will try to have them. Now that we, like, this year for CNC, we have a lot of time, like next couple of months we have. So we'll try to cover different groups. Next question is from Savita. She's saying, please share the link for the Citizen Science India website for registering for projects. So if you are there in the CNC India WhatsApp group or the Citizen Science India community, we will keep posting these links there. But in general, to participate in CNC, you do not have to register on the projects or join the project. If your city is participating, your contribution will be automatically considered. Vijay B is asking, I think, please give reference book for identifying ants, spiders, moths, and mantis.
So moths, I have already shown that book. Only Subbalakshmi's book is there, and there are few other books also, which actually is very costly, and they are only for particular groups, which is not generally available. This is the only book which is available, and generally you will be able to use for the moths found around you. It documents quite a number of species. Okay, Dr. V. Subbalakshmi's guidebook for moths. Okay, one. Spiders, you have Indian Spiders book, Talukdar book is there. So you can use that if you would like. But it's a very difficult group and it's always better to consult an expert. And then ants, Paul has to answer. I actually, again, we
ants
have an Ant
actually.
India group. Ant India group, and in Ant India group, they will identify the ants. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
I think
for ants there
Karthikeyan's
are.
book also.
No, for ants, there are not, like, there's no specific book for ants of India. Paul, like I'm pretty good friends with Paul, and he always just keeps using AntWeb India and
Yes.
AntWiki and AntMaps.
Wiki.
Those three.
Wiki. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So AntWiki is a really great resource. It has all the information about a lot of
So Paul
species.
writes here a handbook of ants of Peninsula India by Ajay Narendra and Sunil Kumar Yam. He has put it on the chat box. Okay, for ants.
I think for spiders, the recent last year, I think it was released book by Karthikeyan, S. Karthikeyan. That's also got some reasonable amount of good spider identification.
But
Guide,
the
yeah.
guidebook, even Manju Silival, has a
Yeah,
book.
Manju Silverwal, yeah. But it's not
There's a lot of
comprehensive.
resources for spiders,
Yeah.
Indian spiders.
Absolutely,
But it is
yeah.
a very difficult group, and I would suggest that people don't go out and start identifying what it is, and rather use, you know,
I
an
know.
expert for identification.
I know.
So, any other questions?
Yes, so next is Vasant Kumar. He says, very nice presentation, Chitraji. Never knew so much biodiversity around us. I'm 80 years old and want to know how to get rid of rodents that are digging and chewing my little garden. Secondly, I'm happy to inform that Munia birds are regular breeders in my balcony.
No, no. What does he want to get rid of?
Of the rodents that are digging and chewing up his garden.
So actually, see, I'm an entomologist, but I do not advocate chemicals immediately. Okay. So I would advise that you put bird perches, simple sticks with some kind of straw bundle or something for the predatory birds to come, and maybe you'll be able to control them. What is the point that of entry for these rodents? You check and you close them. That would be a better idea. I am not going to talk about rodenticide, please. You know rodenticides are available in the market, but I would not recommend them. You can take your own recommendation for them. I will not recommend chemicals.
Swarachi, can you take up next question from Joseph?
Wait, the thing is my net kind of disconnected and the questions are not loading for me.
Okay, so the question is, I have a few unidentified exoskeleton-like species and many other unidentified egg-like things. Is there any group which is concentrating on strange and unidentified organisms?
Sworochi, please.
All right.
They have
So
a big group for this.
no, eggs and exoskeletons. If you're talking about arthropods, no, that's a very, very difficult job. I do not know anyone who's like doing this. Butterfly eggs, yes. Hemipteran eggs, we can be identified till family. Other than that, exoskeletons of cicadas, somewhat we can ID. We have like ordinate larvae exoskeletons that also somewhat to family level we can ID, but these things they don't go too far in identification, so it's very, very difficult to get species and sometimes even the genus.
Yes. Kobita says, wonderful session, Chitra. Thank you. We have Arvind. He says, I'm from Pune. How do I start CNC in Pune? So, Arvind, if you are there in the CNC India group, we will keep putting information about that. We already have the iNaturalist project created for Pune. But to everyone, I would like to say that the CNC will happen in the end of April. But before that, we want everyone to start using iNaturalist on a regular basis. So just forget about CNC and, try to use iNaturalist as much as possible. As we get closer to the CNC, once all the cities for India and the world are finalized, then we will share more information about CNC with you. Till then, just keep using iNaturalist, Merlin Bird ID, and these apps which are very beginner friendly and which will get you started and help you in getting your journey started for getting closer to the biodiversity around you. Yes, ma'am, you wanted to say something?
No, I am seeing one more question here about somebody saying that they have been uploading from last year and many are not identified. Summer, is the same Summer who is in YNC? I don't know. But please post links for which is not identified onto some of the specialized groups, and definitely you will be able to get an ID.
Yes.
Okay.
Arvind also says, I'm doing nature walks in Pune for children and senior citizens. So how do I start CNC in Pune? Yes, Arvind, you can get in touch with me, and we also have people from Maharashtra and Pune who have registered CNC as a city from Pune. So it will be nice to have you to partner with, and like to join hands with other people who are the organizers there. So anyone from any of the cities, if you are interested in helping us to organize CNC, we have a city organizers group, a separate city organizers group. So you can get in touch with any of us and we'll add you to that group so that you can help us in planning and better executing the CNC. Next question is from Duman, says, hello ma'am, apart from bees, which are the other insects which are important or significant for agriculture point of view or for the ecosystem?
No. What was that? Apart from these, which are the other insects which are important
or significant for agricultural point of view or for the ecosystem?
Oh, actually, you have a parasite. See, everything is from anthropogenic point of view, right? So, in agriculture ecosystem, we have the good insects and the bad insects. The bad insects are the ones which are damaging the crop. And I am actually a biocontrol exponent. And what I do is use insects for managing insects. So we have good insects which manage in nature. We have, good insects which are present, which are feeding predators or parasitoids on these pests. So you can use them. So these are very important in agriculture. That is the good insects consisting of natural, that they are called as natural enemies. They are of pests, that is predators and parasitoids. There is a vast number. You have even coccinellid beetles, you may know, ladybird beetles. They feed on soft-bodied insects. Okay, starting from that to a number of wasps which parasitize caterpillars, you have number of good insects. And of course, in agriculture ecosystem, we have nutrient cyclers. It is a whole topic. I have one YouTube talk on significance of insects in ecosystem. Maybe I can share the link. that would be better.
Yes. Next question is from Abhinay. He's asking, do you think AI identifiers are valid?
Actually, we had one Patanka Suchaka AI app for moth and butterfly identification. It was sort of 80 to 90% correct. What you have to do is that once it is identified, it will give 90%, 80%, 60%, 2, 3 choices. But you have to go and check whether this is correct, whether there is a geographical distribution in your area, and so many other factors before deciding that if it is the insect which you are identifying if you're using AI. Definitely AI, if you train it well, it is going to help, it is going to be valid because it depends on the background you're going to put into that AI, the number of images you're going to train it with. That is how AI can work as an identifier.
Yes, and also on iNaturalist, the identification which is it provides using its own AI, it mentions there that we are pretty sure that this observation is from this species or from this genus, or it clearly says that we are not sure, but it looks closer to this one. So it will
But
mention, how much confidence does it have?
Ram, I
No,
think
in this
Swarachi will add
context,
to it.
Yes,
yeah,
Swaraj, definitely.
I think in this context, look, INAT has a policy of, okay, how AI works, AI identification it works is, it compares with a lot of similar stuff and it will give you a percentage value of how similar your photo is to a bunch of other photos that are already identified. Okay, so any certain ID that you see on INAT, the rule is like 90% plus. Okay, so anything above 90% of surety that the AI has, that will be identified. Otherwise, they'll not even show it that INAT is pretty sure. They won't show that. So I think in general, it's best to you can trust the AI ID to a little bit extent, but if it's going till genus and species, you can compare. If it looks pretty similar, you can keep the species. That's okay. But in general, I would recommend that if you're comparing something and it doesn't match up perfectly with what you have by comparison, then just view the taxonomy of that species and keep the family level. I think that is an enough depth of of an identification that can be pushed forward by the community. The INET also has people to help so you should utilize that, I'd say.
Yeah. Next.
Ma'am, I have put some questions in the chat section if you can see and answer.
Yeah, actually, the question is there any course for arachnology studies? I mean, for study of spiders, I think you mean. So, number of workshops have been offered from Kerala, but it is not a fixed workshop. So you have to be on the lookout. So if there is something, maybe I can share in some group, but join the Spider India group so that you will get information on such kind of things which is happening. Okay. That would be the best answer for that. Then could you recommend books on mantises? So mantids are a lesser studied group of insects. So any checklist which will come is first fauna of British India. So fauna of British India is the top for all taxonomy studies. Okay, first you have to go look for the group in fauna of British India. Then after that you go to ZSI site and see if they have specialized checklists which are already available. That is how you can get. As such, I wouldn't say that there is a book for mantids. Okay. What are some of the plant species that we can plant in our homes and city to attract butterflies? This it in itself is a whole 1 hour topic. So I have put my mail ID in the first slide. You can contact me. I can guide you on what plants to do for butterfly gardening. Okay. So I like to capture insects, flowers, animals, and plants in forests of our Northeast. I have large drive of those pictures, but every time I look, I wish to do for something. Of course, you can get good nature photography skills in mobile phones, but this is beyond my foray because I have a 500 PF and I wouldn't call myself a photographer. So, so that depends on individual skills. So nowadays, youngsters are behaving like butterflies, not really understanding the real biodiversity around us. We are advised to these butterflies. Sir, what I would say is, I don't know, maybe you have come across the wrong group of kids. I have contact with a group of kids who inspire me on daily basis. I am so proud to be associated with them. They are just in 10th, 11th and 12th, and they have been doing documenting of biodiversity and conservation in such a great manner that I would not agree with your statement. Sorry, thank you. Then if INAT has birds, why do we need eBird? Why can't there be unification? See, eBird is from Cornell University. It's a specialized thing for birds, okay? And it is globally there and it has been there. INAT is just for everything. See, when you have everything, it will dilute, okay? It will dilute. You're just putting your records there and it goes into different projects if somebody is using. I also contribute to eBird. I also contribute to INAT. So what I'm trying to say is when you contribute, there will be researchers who are working on these groups and they can use this data. Some may be using INAT, some may be using the eBird platform. So it is good to contribute to both. And I feel that eBird is great when it comes to birding data. Okay, thank you so much.
Yes. Farida ma'am, do you want to add anything else? Or Swarochi, if you have anything to say.
No, so I think most of it Chitra has covered, and there was some thoughts that this time I want to make it bigger, and lots of participation is seen around the what is.
You are frozen.
Yes, I think there's a net issue there. Swadachi, you want to add anything?
Yeah, about the mobile photography one. Look, if you're going for mobile photography, birding is not really your best option. So if you're a bird enthusiast, yeah, you probably need like binoculars on your phone. But if you're an insect enthusiast, look, some phones have built-in macro lenses these days, which is really cool. If you have like that kind of an advanced phone, that is really nice for this. But otherwise, you can buy macro lenses for like 500 rupees online. So that will also really help you. That will help you like, quickly focus at a very close subject. So yeah, that would be my tip.
Okay. So thank you very much for joining. I hope you all are there in the CNC India WhatsApp group. We will keep sharing the links which were discussed in this call there on the CNC India group. And also, if you have any further questions, we can have the discussions there. The CNC India WhatsApp group is has the Citizen Science India community around it. So on the community, you will find WhatsApp groups for all most of the states and cities. So I think someone is asking about Pune, so you'll find CNC Maharashtra or CNC Pune WhatsApp group there. So you can join the groups which are related to your area. There are also groups for identification related things, so you can ask your identification there. And Swarochi and his team is also going to conduct a session next, which is going to be on identification. So all those people who have already been using iNextList, they are aware about it and they want to go to the next level and not only observing but also want to help in identification part. So the young naturalist community will have the session on how can you get started with identification process and how you can help us in IDing as the next session. So and that and many more sessions are going to come. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining today. Thank you very much, Chitra ma'am, for taking our time and delivering exactly what we were looking for as our starting session. Now that everyone has a good understanding of the basics, we had a last session couple of weeks back about the general things about CNC and iNaturalist. So now that everyone is aware in general about CNC and biodiversity, now we can start conducting specific sessions on specific groups and taxa like that. So looking forward to interact with everyone on CNC India group. Or instead of CNC India group, we are encouraging everyone to use their regional groups, like the groups which are created for their cities and states, because the CNC India group might get crowded and a lot of messages might keep coming there. So we keep that group muted for or we don't allow messages from everyone there usually. So please join those groups. And if you have anything else, you can get in touch with me or Chitra ma'am or Swarochi or Farida madam or any of the people who are organized or are taking efforts for CNC 2024. With that, I would like to just thank you everyone again. Thank you very much, Chitra ma'am. And we can just close this call. See you around in the next session. Bye bye, everyone.